Gentlemen's Guide.
What's good? What's good? This is your boy B Barnes. This is the Gentleman's Guide podcast where we seek to unpack manhood one day at a time. I'm privileged and I'm very happy. This is really the first time for me that somebody reached out to me directly to be on the podcast. So I was thrilled to have the opportunity to really have somebody on that I really don't know directly, right? So I'm privileged enough to have with rapper. For what I understand, your stage name is Kris Noel. Is that your real name as well, or?
That's my government name. Yeah, man.
Oh, that's what's up. See, I think watching interviews and seeing you on IG, I was thinking like Christmas and Noel. So I was like, and I know you're heavy with your faith and representing your faith in your music. So I was like, okay, maybe that's a play on the his faith.
Yeah, God knew he was. Yeah, that's my real name.
That's dope, bro. That's really dope. So to the people who don't know you, man, I've did a little research and I've listened to some of your stuff, and I feel like you have a dope flow. You definitely have an eccentric style, bringing that to hip hop and really just music and artistry in general. So who is Kris Noel, and what are you all about, man?
Man, Kris Noel, man, just an eclectic dude who's just down for God. Want to take all the gifts that have been put inside of me and just give them right back to God. I think something that makes me different is I love languages, man. I love languages since a young age. I'm originally from Texas, served in the military, got to travel the world some. And so was able to be around different cultures. And so I try to take those things and incorporate them into my music. I speak Spanish and Portuguese. My pops is from Haiti. So I try to incorporate those cultures into the music. I also play guitar. And so it's just very therapeutic at the end of the day for me, man. Acoustic guitar, man. So when I perform, I like to do something called acoustic hip hop. Mm-hmm. And so that in a nutshell, that's who Kris Noel is, our creative.
So yeah, let's kind of dive into acoustic hip hop. The people who are listening, watching out, please understand that hip hop started, from one specific culture, right? And me personally, I feel like we're in a phase in time of hip hop where you're starting to see these different branches break off into different subcategories, right? And it's not to really put you or anybody in the box, but it's just kind of trying to make sense of different styles and really what's accepted now, especially in the hip hop realm. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah. For sure.
Yeah. So kind of dive into that, man. I mean, how did you get your start in music, or what inspired you to be a musician? Did you grow up around it?
Interestingly enough, I started out as a producer at the end of high school. Okay. I wouldn't even rap. However, I was a ground level starting, you know what I'm saying? So I learned with Fruity Loops and all those types of things, but there was nobody to rap on my beats. So eventually I got tired of nobody being on the beat, and I just started writing myself. And I was like, oh, I think, you know what I mean? I actually like writing. And then I gravitated towards that and just started writing my own stuff. Initially, it's crazy, man, just to go back and listen to the growth, man, it's crazy. Be like, man, I don't know, bro. You was sort of on some other stuff. So I praise God for the growth, man. But I've always been inspired. So I told you earlier that I'm from Texas, right? So I grew up on things like Swishahouse, down south. You know what I'm saying? People rolling on slabs, you know what I'm saying? Sipping lean, that type of stuff. Yeah. And down there where I grew up, it really wasn't about lyricism as much as it was let me feel this type of way in this moment with this song on, if that makes sense. Yeah. And so I was an oddball because I used to listen to people like Mos Def, Talib Kweli, you know what I'm saying? Andre 3000. And they rock with Andre because he's from Georgia and he was, you know what I'm saying, Outkast or whatnot. But a lot of that other stuff like Nas and, you know what I'm saying, Jay and all that is bro, that's too wordy. Get to the point, we don't care about all that. You trying to make me think too hard, you know what I mean? And so, but I've always definitely been in that school of thought, man. I'm because to me, it represents excellence in the craft. You know what I mean? When you take the time to think of how a bar can mean three different things in one sentence or one bar, you know what I mean? And one little piece of song. And so I've always loved that. Shooting forward, man, I've always loved guitar. And so, but the thing with guitar is usually you associate guitar with either country or a rock, you know what I'm saying, alternative. Neither one of them was me. I'm definitely not doing country. You know what I mean? And the whole, you know what I'm saying, rock thing, I was like, it ain't gonna work either. Well, when I was doing Christian hip hop, when I first started trying to do acoustic hip hop, some people told me yo, bro, it looks weird. You know what I'm saying? I got told it's weird, guitar and hip hop, you know what I mean? So actually made me hone my skills even more and go back and see what works after I saw what does not work. till now, man, like I feel like it's that just now is I'm starting to come into my own style and my own, just me as an artist, to where it's all meshed perfectly to where I want it to be. And so that's where the acoustic hip hop came from. And yeah, man, I'm a big fan of lyricism and people who take the time to perfect their craft. And so I try to incorporate that in mine as well. So
I think that's a dope tidbit when you talk about the, all the quote unquote, people like to label them haters or naysayers, or really just people. A lot of times people feel like they have genuine intentions. But, from your perspective or any artist's perspective, when you hear something, it kind of goes against what you're trying to do or what you feel in your soul. It comes off as, somebody's trying to deter me from, my ultimate goal, which, the plan that God has for me. Right.
When I was younger, I used to be like this. When somebody says something that comes off as haterish, you know what I'm saying? You sort of like, man, look, this dude hating. He just don't want me to shine. You know what I mean? But nowadays, now that I'm older, I'm sort of like looking like, I try to analyze why people say what they say. Even if it has nothing to do with me, they may be going through something and it may be them reflecting off whatever they're going through. So I look at that, and I also look at, well, maybe he heard, or maybe it did come off this way to them. And if I go back and I listen to it, to my music or whatever situation, and I'm just sort of like, I do see what they're saying about that, then it forces me to get better as opposed to, and so haters serve their purpose too. You know what I'm saying? Like, so that's not to say the haters ain't out there like really hating, but you can actually win from that too. You know what I'm saying? And so, and get better from it. So.
Oh yeah, for sure. I know you mentioned the term Christian rapper or Christian hip hop. Hip hop was birthed out of the street culture in New York City. Like we all know this, right? So religion, or at least, God, specifically Christianity and hip hop, didn't initially mix, because hip hop was an underground culture. It was a subculture, right? For so long, the term quote unquote Christian rapper had such a negative connotation within the context of hip hop because of the history and the you know what I mean? So now when you fast forward, a couple decades and you see where hip hop is now, and you talk about merging, languages and cultures and styles, right? Were there any specific Christian rappers that really inspired you or, helped you along your way?
When I first started in 2008 or 9, this is when I actually lived in Alaska, bro. And like somebody was like, yo, this is Christian hip hop. This is when I like really gave my life to God, and I was trying to walk it out and do everything right. And somebody's like, yo, there's these people called 116, like Lecrae and them like that. I was like, oh, I never heard of them. Like, what's that all about? And but one dude who's from right where I'm there from, he's from Dallas. I'm from Fort Worth, named Trip Lee. Like his flow and delivery and just being dope at the same time. You know what I'm saying? Really, like I was like, oh, so you can be dope. Because usually up till then, my pops had brought me some Christian rap before, and I was like, bro, this, man, I ain't gonna front, bro. Corny, bro.
It's trash. Yeah.
It's fine, but it just wasn't on the same level as, like maybe Jay or somebody or somebody in the secular room. And so, I would definitely say Trip Lee, a lot of people in 116. Up to even now, I don't know if you heard, I'm probably going to butcher his last name, Toby Ngigwe. I'm sorry, Toby. I promise you, I'm not trying to get at you, bro. But yeah, just you can hear the excellence in the craft, in the music, the direction that they're going, still glorifying God and not being corny. And so, like, I honor that. You know what I'm saying? I think that's super dope. So those, definitely those people right there.
Yeah, I think the culture now allows for full expression of one's truth, and I think because now, I mean, Lecrae is one of my favorite artists, like period. You know what I mean? He's one of my favorite artists. So you talk about, you're fluent in multiple languages. What languages other than English are you fluent in?
It goes like this. English, obviously, my strongest language. Spanish, second strongest. Portuguese was my minor. Oddly enough, my dad is from Haiti, but that I'm not around it. I was not around it enough for me to be as strong. So it's one of those things where I'm going back and picking it up. You know what I'm saying? I could pick through it and carry on, but it's definitely something I'm like, let me get that up to par with everything else. So I've been working on that.
I saw recently in the interview you had and the performance you had on the local show My Carolina, which for those who are watching and listening, I'll post a link when this episode airs. But I saw that you mentioned one of your biggest dreams or aspirations is to really travel to different countries and spread not only spread the word of God, but spread that through your dope music. And if you had to pick right now, what would be your first stop on that tour?
I feel like I don't know if you've ever thought about this before, but I feel like everybody has like a heart country. You know what I'm saying? Originally, you're from the United States, but you also have a country like, I just feel like if I wasn't American, I would be there.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I'd probably be there. I'd love to go to Brazil. Would absolutely love to go to Brazil, man. And I'd love to. I got some homies in Spain that I've been working with right now, and they're just super dope on the same tip as me, just using different languages. And so I feel like that's actually developing into a genre. That's a whole different thing. Anywhere in the islands, PR, DR, or Dominican Republic, Puerto Rico, South America, I'd rather go. I want to go to the motherland. There's some Portuguese speaking countries over there. The thing I love about that is it's one thing, because there's been American artists who go to different countries and perform and who have fans in other countries. But it's one thing to go somewhere where you don't know a lot about the culture and they're a fan of your music and show love that way. But it's a whole different package when you go and you be like, bro, I've been studying your culture and I speak your language. I took the time to sit down and learn the grammatical, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like everything about your language. And I want to love you in that way. And I want to present this art to you. You know what I'm saying? I'm not from here, but I want to show you that, you important. I love you. I hope this could bless your life or whatever. And present art that way. I think it's on another level. And so that's my dream, to be able to travel and do those things.
That's dope, bro. I feel like it's definitely another level of connection to another human being when you, I won't even say 100%, but when you somewhat understand the context, not just the language, not just the culture, but just you understand, where you are in the specific moment and how both of you can relate to it. You know what I mean? All right. So given all that, this country has gone through with the pandemic and, social injustice and, all the politics and everything, new president and campaigning and all that. How have you made it through as an artist, through this time of, somewhat lockdown?
Like, honestly, it's definitely provided a lot of ammo for me to go through back in the studio and be like, let me talk about this, man, because it's crazy. And I do have a couple of songs that are a little bit more political and talking about, being Black in America and things of that nature. And so it's definitely been an outlet for me creatively to go in the studio and do things like that. Other than that, man, I've really been trying to keep my head down, take care of me and mine, and not get wrapped up in all the craziness, man, and just be vigilant and protecting what I got. You know what I mean? And so that's how I've been.
Recently, we had an episode where it was me and a couple of my brothers and a couple guys that we knew as, a couple friends of ours. And we were basically asking the question, as Black men in America, just basically asking the question, how are you? Not creatively, just from your mind state, like how are you?
No, like, yeah, that's a very good question, man. And it's great. Like, I have a son. And so these are things that he doesn't, I'm sure kids are very perceptive.
Oh, yeah.
And so they going on around, but he doesn't understand everything that's going on. The thing about me, like, man, trying to have a relationship with God, like, is we're called to love on people regardless of this, that, or the third. You know what I'm saying? But at the same time, like, you can't just write off what's going on around you. You know what I'm saying? You got to pay attention to your surroundings. Like when people, I don't know, man, it's a vibe in the air. I feel, man, I work at a hospital, by the way. And so the thing is, like, even when people come in there, it's like, you can tell when people don't like you for whatever reason. You know what I'm saying? Whether it be because of the color of your skin, I don't know. But it's definitely, since 2020 was definitely like, tension was thick in the air, bro. Fact. And I'm sure that you felt that, you know what I mean? And it's just like, for me, I want to love on these people, but not at the expense of them doing something crazy to me or me and mine, you know what I'm saying? And then just not being able to do anything bad. I'm just very cautious, man. You know what I mean?
Yep.
I try to be respectful, and I try to, you know what I'm saying, continue to just show grace to people. I have found that sometimes you have to love from afar.
Facts.
In situations, and just keep it moving, bro, and pray for people and just keep it moving, bro.
Yeah, I think it's very important, like what you just said, as far as loving from afar. And that's not just people that's somewhat socially distant. And I mean that in both senses, where obviously socially distant, and, that's a big term now. Oh, yeah. But as far as not in your circle, not only those people, but even people that have been close to you for a while now. Like, at some point, sometimes you grow apart from somebody, and it's very important, like you said, to love you. I still love you, but right now, I've got to protect myself. I got to protect my soul, my mind, and I got to protect me and mine and make sure we straight. You know what I mean?
Where are you out of, boss?
I'm from Raleigh. I grew up in Franklin County in North Carolina. Okay. It's probably from Raleigh. It's probably like 30 minutes northeast in Lewisburg. But I went to NC State. I played football there. Back in I finished in 2012. Yeah, I've been in North Carolina my whole life, man. Born and raised.
That's what I went to state too. That's what's up. I graduated later than you, but yeah, that's what's up though. Whoop-a. Okay.
That's what's up, bro. I know you talked about certain rappers, Talib Kweli, Mos Def. Any rappers that you really consider, I guess, I won't say the GOAT, but just the ones that really speak to you directly?
And it's crazy. He's a rapper, but he's not like a rapper. I don't know if you ever heard of this guy named Propaganda. Have you ever heard of Propaganda?
I don't think I have. I'm not sure. I don't think I have.
Bro, I'll send you some things, but he's more of a he can rap now, but he's more of a spoken word. Mm-hmm. And he's definitely the stuff that we were just talking about, like the Black experience in America. And he's just on another level, bro. And so as far as relating to my heart and just what I felt, what I'm saying, as Kris Noel living here in America, like Propaganda would definitely be somebody who's like, I feel like I'm tethered to, you know what I'm saying?
Word.
But as far as like creatively, I would definitely say, bro, like I love Andre 3000. You know what I'm saying? Like, dude is just creatively I don't even think he gets the recognition that he deserves, but creatively, dude is an absolute monster, and he found a way to do his own thing. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Independent of everybody trying to copy off each other, and just put out dope stuff.
You know what? It's funny that you say that, because talking about him not getting the recognition that he deserves, because I think all creatives, at least in the hip hop culture, they know about Andre. Like, how do you not know about Andre 3000? But like for just the casual fan, at least the current casual fan in hip hop, like I think those people don't really give him credit. I think for me, I can see how that makes sense, only because I think the one thing that a lot of people hold against him is he hasn't released like his own separate projects. You know what I mean?
Right. And because even when he had, the Love Below and Speak About, like, it was himself, but it was still like along with not Andre, Big Boy. You know what I mean? So
with that said, what who's your top five? No particular order, just top five, dead or alive.
Obviously, I'm a big Nas fan. Royce the 5'9". You know what I'm saying? I would say we got into a Twitter war over this, but people don't want to give his roses. You know what I'm saying? Eminem. I'll be like, yo, how y'all not see that?
Yo, honestly, he's probably when you talk about straight lyricism, he's up there. I mean, obviously,
I'm just like, what in the world, bro? Like, yeah. But people are like, nah, it's preference. Well, I mean, we could talk about that too, but it's like, yeah. I'm a big fan of Black Star. I know we talked about Talib Kweli, Black Star. Mos Def is dope. Let me see who else. Right now, man, and I'm really like digging what Toby is doing as well.
Yeah, he's dope. So, you know who's one of my favorite lyricists of all time that a lot of people don't talk about him, but people know about him. But Black Thought, he's dope, bro. Like,
he's a monster, bro. Yeah. Like, so many. It's a lot of good rappers, bro. Like crazy. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. For me, right now, like what's current, obviously, like Cole, Rhapsody. Oh
my God,
the North Carolina connection. You know what I'm saying? But aside from that,
Cole is You got a spot.
Where do you see yourself as an artist in 5 to 10 years?
I would love to do something different, man. Like something game changing, bro. Like I would definitely love to be traveling. Hopefully we're done with COVID and we figure out a way around that. I would love to just travel around, love on people with music, bro. I would love to incorporate more. I like anime too. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So that's one thing. I'd like to incorporate something like along those lines into my music. So even if I'm not traveling around, I can, you know what I'm saying, push something more cartoonish, maybe, you know what I mean? And so I'm trying to think who is that group that really inspired me? Daft Punk. Or do you remember Gorillaz?
Vaguely, yes.
Yeah. Bro, to this day, I still don't know what they really look like. I don't know what them dudes look like, bro. Like, you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. They did it so smoothly, like to where I think they're from England, but they had cartoons and they just put out music and people like love the music. I don't know how much money they got or how lucrative or anything like it was like that without touring, but I know that they did that thing. You know, I think I was pretty creative. So
yeah, I'd imagine artists that do that sort of thing, they fly under the radar because people don't know what they look like. And obviously in the age of social media and being so close somewhat to the people that we, put on a pedestal, when you kind of hide yourself behind that identity of you're just an artist and you're not the person behind the artistry is totally separate. They probably making bank.
yeah, bro. I think one of my ultimate goals is to create like another genre, like as far as artists who are multilingual, who have those connections in different countries. And it's like, people don't talk about this, but the United States, we're one of the only countries that's sort of like, you have to speak English here. You know what I'm saying? Like, we don't want you speaking, even with Spanish, like there's people who come to, you know what I'm saying, a hospital, like if you hear somebody speaking Spanish, they get like speaking another language, you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. But in Europe, it's normal for somebody to speak Italian, German, Spanish, French, you know what I'm saying? And they're taught that at a young age. And so I know that there's a community of people out there who enjoy hip hop and who can be influenced and who would love to hear that, like in their native tongue, as well as the other tongues that they speak, you know what I mean? And so I think something different, you know? Yeah,
with that said, do you have any artists overseas, in the UK or any other countries that you're heavy on right now?
Yeah, as far as listening wise, no, I will tell you, let me just say this.
Put me on game. Yeah, put me on game.
Yeah, shout out to One Way. Those are my homeboys. They're out of Spain, and I've been doing and linking up with them lately. One guy, I think his wife is from Brazil, so he raps in Portuguese, Spanish, and then the other guy his parents are from England, so he raps in English and Spanish from like Spain or whatnot, man. And so shout out to them. We've been linking up, and it's been dope. There's a guy in England, my homeboy. We haven't collabed yet, but we've been talking. His name is Feed'em. Dope lyricist, man. And I feel like he's gonna get on me if I get this name wrong. But like, remember how we were talking about how there's different branches of hip hop?
Yeah.
It's the same, bro. Like, that's what I'm telling you. Like, there's so many different universes, if you will, like that we have not explored in different countries. Like we own everything here in the US. You know what I mean? We got it down. When you go to other countries like England, they got like an underground. I don't know if it's called grunge, but it's a different type of hip hop or whatever, man. And he was talking to me about it, man. And he was like, bro, you need to, I was like, I'd be honored. That'd be dope to, be a part of something like that. So I got to do my homework on more of that. But just to know that something different is out there like that, I think there's another culture and community, like sect of hip hop. I think that's super dope, man. And so to be able to connect to that is dope. So I have friends in other countries that I'm working with, people that inspire me from other countries. I don't know if you ever heard of this group called Super Saiyan Crew. They're sort of like the French version of Wu-Tang, bro. You don't even understand what they're saying, but they spitting, bro. Like, dude, I'm like, yo, like that dude's flow pattern is like nasty, bro. And it's just like how they put their music together, bro. It's like they're black. You know what I'm saying? So like I could tell that they get some of their influence from the motherland, you know what I mean? And they incorporate that. It's just something different. It's like, yo, this is smooth, bro. Like, what in the world is this?
Yeah, I think for me, the times where I have listened to specifically rap artists, like I say from the UK, black rap artists, a lot of times they either have a Caribbean or African ancestry, right?
Yeah.
As far as like culturally, you know what I mean? Like their parents or they migrated from, somewhere in Africa or somewhere in the Caribbean, the islands. And I think they bring that piece that we don't get as much in the US, because I guess, at least from my perspective, the Caribbean culture is definitely some intertwining. Like you look at, the Marleys and other guys and, Beanie Man, those type of reggae artists, they kind of straddle the fence on, what's hip hop, what's reggae, you know what I mean? And the obviously the African influence. But I think a lot of those, that's definitely the sound, or at least what I get when I hear artists from overseas, especially from the UK. You know what I mean? So my assumption is you write all your lyrics, right?
Oh yes.
What's your process? Because everybody has their own process. So is there something specific, or you have a routine, or is it just like when the spirit hits you, you know what I'm saying? When you hear something in your head, you just gotta write it down or type it up.
Yeah, so it used to be a little bit different when I was young. I used to just write to air, like nothing, just like try to, you know what I'm saying, and play with bars and stuff. Now lately, like in the past 2 years, I try to find a beat that makes me want to. It paints a picture. You know what I'm saying? The beat by itself need to be a movie. Like I can see like visuals and stuff in it. You know what I mean? And then from that, I'm inspired. I try to pick something that I've been currently going through, or that I see on, you know what I'm saying, socially that's going on here. And then I spring off and do my thing. But it's interesting that you say that. Did you write your own? Did you write your own lyrics, bro?
To me, it's not a big deal. Some people it is, right? Like traditional hip hop artists or people who are part of that original culture. I understand where they're coming from, but to me, it's like, okay, are you part of that artistic process, or are you the person that brings, these thoughts and feelings to life? Because that's a big deal as well. You know what I mean?
Yeah, because it's a lot more. I mean, you can tell me what you think on this, but I feel like it's a lot more acceptable for an R&B artist or a pop artist to have a ghostwriter and then to be like, hey, I wrote this song for you. This is how it sounds. Can you reduplicate this or sing it better? And they're like, yeah, I can kill that. Mm-hmm. But for hip hop, I feel like it's so like, bro, like it's like, the term biting. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? Like if another hip hop artist hears somebody or rapper biting off, it's like, bro, like I know you didn't just take that bar and just run with it. You know what I'm saying? Even though somebody else said it. And so me and my girl had this conversation, and she was like, you know what? You should do a couple of covers. And I was like, oh, for real? I was like, and I'm thinking about it. It just has to be creative. Mm-hmm. But initially, as a rapper's rapper or somebody who, you know what I'm saying, just loves hip hop, I'm thinking like, babe, like I'm not about to be sitting up here rapping some other dudes, you know what I'm saying, bars like that. You know what I mean? Like right. It could be looked at as tribute, you know what I mean? But it's just it's like an undertone type thing, man. Like I don't know what it is with hip hop. It's like, nah, bro, you got to go ahead and write that yourself. You got to do it yourself, bro.
It's always been highly competitive, and I think it's just embedded into the DNA of the culture, So mm-hmm. no shade to anybody out there who got ghostwriters, you know what I'm saying? But I think it's definitely a different element when you put your own self, your own spin, on something and mm-hmm. introduce it to the world. And
just knowing where you are artistically, you know what I'm saying? Like
yeah,
if that's you know what I'm saying? It's nothing wrong with it.
Yeah, I think for me, it's like, okay, if you're not good at writing hooks or, bridges or whatever, certain segment, okay, that's not your strength. Focus on your lyrics. If you need a hook sang or by somebody or, some people, by all means, do your thing. Oh, here's one good question I wanted to ask you. I recently interviewed with my boy, Malcolm. He goes by the Deep End. He's a dope rapper as well, but I think he's going to blow up pretty soon. But that aside, he was talking about recently how he left his 9-to-5, and I thought that was a big deal, especially you talking about independent artists or artists who are still trying to, gain a following or a larger following. Is that something in the near future for you, or is that something that you aspire to be as far as just full-time, rapping music?
That's an interesting question. It's a good question. And so for me, like me and my homeboys, we talk about this a lot, and like I'm a little bit different on that. I never want to put myself in a position to where I have to keep my lights on, and that's why I have to write a verse for somebody or make a beat for somebody, and just to keep my lights on. Mm-hmm. Because I feel like for me personally, I feel like it'll suck the creative juices out of me, and I won't want to do it. And so what I would love to do is I would love to have a remote job to where I can go anywhere and still get money, but at the same time get money both ways. You know what I'm saying? But I don't want to place myself in a position to where it's like, bro, you gotta write this song, or else your house gonna be foreclosed on, so, or something like that. You know what I mean? Okay, shut down. I would love to have the perks and the flexibility and the options to do it full time and be on that level, but not be locked into it to where it's like you gotta do it, bro, or you can't feed your kids. You know what I mean? And so
I think there's always a different element when you got other people depending on you. Like I got a wife, I got 2 kids, and there's always something you just can't think about yourself. And I think that's a huge difference from someone who's just single, and I guess you have more leeway to make certain decisions versus somebody in your position where like you said, you got a son, you know what I mean? Like you got somebody depending on you, and that is definitely something you have to take into consideration.
Oh yeah, for sure. For sure, man. So yeah, I definitely, opportunities come, I will take advantage of them. But like I'm not trying to be like, it's not my overall dream just to be like, oh, I gotta be full time. Like, you know what I'm saying? I was like, not necessarily. Yeah. I can still, my thing and do my thing. So
your better half, she reached out to me directly, which from my perspective, I was very surprised because since I've been doing this, nobody's done that. I've been the one reaching out to other people to bring on, right? So I was like, one, I was very excited because I was like, this is a different feeling. And two, I was like, shout out to her, and I'll let you do all that because that's all you. But I was like, man, shout out to Black women because it's very important. It's very important for a man to have somebody in his corner.
Shout out to my baby. Shout out to my backbone, the real. Yo, Jessica, thank you for setting this up because this has been a ginormous blessing. Like, I'm not gonna say it's rare, but it's refreshing. It's a breath of fresh air when you have somebody in your corner who genuinely wants to see you succeed and not competing with you. And you know what I'm saying? So it's awesome when you can do that for each other. And you have because I didn't even know, bro, it's dope to meet you. You know what I'm saying? I didn't even know that you was out here doing this. And so, man, I want to support any way I can support you. I will. So you have people setting that up, who love you and want to see you succeed, man, who's with you all the time. That's a ginormous blessing. You know what I mean? Yes, sir. So definitely shout out to my baby. Thank you. I'm so very, very grateful for this. So, yeah.
And that song, Mary Had a Little Lamb, we're going to end it right there. This was a dope conversation with my man, Kris Noel. Do you have a website or, where can the people find you, bro?
Got you, bro. So I'm on Spotify. Just look me up on KRISNOEL, just like Christmas. But my hub, I would say, is definitely on Instagram. You can find me at Who Is Kris Noel, all one word. Who Is KRISNOEL. I'll be putting out a lot of music this year. And so, man, just be looking for some visuals, some music. Got a song coming out next Friday, called White Flag with the homeboy Fano from Canada. Okay. And so definitely be looking out that. It's real wavy. And so, man, I'm definitely looking forward to connecting with you guys.
I'll have all the links posted, you know what I'm saying? Spotify, iTunes, or Apple Music now, right? Everything. So shout out to you, man. Shout out to your better half. And I really appreciate you taking the time out to be on the Gentleman's Guide podcast, where we seek to unpack manhood one day at a time. We out.
Out.